All right. The cleaning has been finished. Driving this car in the rain from North Carolina to Florida certainly took its toll. And I'm really trying to keep this car sweet and clean. So before I did any work today, I have absolutely wiped it down, polished it, cleaned it, out all the dirt, water spots, dust, anything that I could perceive to be nasty off the car. Meanwhile, my brother's been making some really killer horsepower. You look at this car right here. Look at that. Stock wheels, right? Hatchback. I'm not going to tell you what it makes because God knows if the customer doesn't want anybody to know. But let's just say it makes more horsepower to the ground than this engine makes on an engine dyno. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And it seems completely stock. I just love the flow tie. Put 2 fingers in that baby. So she's all cleaned up, ready for some love, ready for the wheels and tires, ready for the banks. Yeah, we got some craziness going on. Apex wheels. Matt Kuhn, you rock. Thanks for selling these. I cannot wait to have them on a car. They're going to look absolutely amazing. Of course, I got to clean them. They're filthy. But, yeah, Goodyear 3Rs with 1 heat cycle. There's little things like this. This Camaro on it. And I just noticed that. This car's got some really cool stuff all over it. Absolutely love it. And I look forward to seeing what I can do with her. All right, so here's a little update on what we've gotten done so far. I've put the speed bleeders in here, upgraded to the Hawk pads, cleaned the caliper inside and out, cleaned the hat and the rotor. We've cleaned the Multimatic DSSV shocks or struts, added the Cadillac CTSV. I think those are the Blackwing brake ducts. Those are a massive difference. I'll grab one of the original ducts from here, give you an idea. So as you can see, it's a considerable upgrade in the size. Actually, it's for the other side, but this airflow comes out of this space here from the front of the car and then is redirected here. Clearly this is a much smaller brake duct, so we're getting lots of channeled airflow also from underneath the car. So airflow that's going underneath the car will now get forced directly to the brakes. So that's going to be quite an upgrade, and airflow through the rotor. The beautiful thing about the Brembo caliper is the simplicity of the design. The brake pads simply just slide right in. All right, now it goes right in. That makes it easier. I pushed it too far. There we go. Now that pad's in place, watch how easy these go in. You gotta make sure your pistons go in real nice and easy. Of course, this car's new, so that's gonna make it even easier. And you can see the pistons right there. Now I'm not pushing on the O-ring or the seal. I'm just pushing on the piston. And that allows that to drop right in place. Now these little pins, I've already cleaned them up. They have a groove in them right there. Now watch how easy this is. All right, so that goes on there like that. All right, these are really easy to work with. These pins have a groove. You can see it sits there and it moves easily. It's got a little capture that holds it in place. It can only go so deep. Comes right out here. This bolt here has a square head to it, so it only goes in one way. That locks in place. There's another bolt that goes on the back side of that. So I'll get some Loctite and I'll put this back on here. And then we have this spring, and this is a spring, and this spring has a little arrow on the top of it. This actually helps keep the pads spread apart. So right here on, there it is. Right here, there's a little arrow. See the arrow? That means it goes up here. So this will go underneath that bar, over this one, and then pressed against that pin, just like this. See? And you see this is made to fit right in that groove that's on there. So that will fit perfectly. That'll fit perfectly very soon. All right, this is the assembly all back together. We've pushed the pin in. The pin is right here. As you can see, the spring is in its groove. The bolt is now torqued with a little Loctite on the bolt. And that, as you can see, literally pushes the pads off the rotors. That way when you're applying the brakes, your pads are close, and the pistons will push them up close, but they're not going to ride on the rotors. It allows the rotors to have some airflow to cool, so that helps out a lot. That's why I always give my brakes a little test pump every time going into the corners or trail braking, going into the corners, to make sure that I got a good pedal and that the pads are against the rotor ready to work. But that's the caliper. Next thing, we're going to pull these bleeders out and put the speed bleeders in, and the front of the car will be done, and the next step will be adjusting the front struts to get the 3 degrees of negative camber. All right, day one of track prep is complete. So let's go over everything. Cadillac CTSV vents, brake ducts, they take advantage of this airflow here. That definitely is gonna really help the airflow to the brakes. Speed bleeders, the Goodrich speed bleeders are installed right there. New brake pads here. All the hardware is clean. Everything in the front of the car is clean. Make sure that there's no more debris inside the front grill area, because there's the grill here. There's another heat exchanger down below. Another heat exchanger here. The screens are clean. All the shocks and everything are done. Still have to adjust the struts up top. Deflectors here. Everything's tight. Everything's checked. Rear calipers cleaned up. Hardware's cleaned. Pins are clean, checked. Brand new DTC 70 pads are in the rear. Cleaned up everything around here. Did the same thing. Added speed bleeders to the rear. Got those installed here. Goodrich makes those. They're perfect. So day one is complete. And I'm being called. That was a tag I used to have on the GTR that we ran, the Cannonball. And also the tag I had on the Mercedes as well. And so now it's 2 really fast cars, very successful in their own right, and I got it on the Camaro. And yeah, you recognize that from the truck as well. So we'll wrap up today, and I'll get to Doug's house where Casey's made dinner. And it's St. Patty's Day, so we are not going out. It is raining, and I just feel absolutely blessed. Ben Pack, I've got some really great lifts. Really love these lifts. Easy to use, quiet, no noise when they're going up and down. This has been a great day in the shop. And if you watch the live stream, Doug's been tuning on some cars. There's a really badass Evo in there, and this thing here just blows my mind how much power that made. If you watch the live stream, you'll see what kind of power that thing made. It's absolutely insane. And it's actually more horsepower than this car, and an all-wheel drive configuration. So, anywho, I'll wrap this up, close the shop up, and go home for dinner. All right, today's the beginning of day 2. And I've already started the oil change without you guys. Right now the filter's dripping. It's 36 degrees outside. And here's a tour of the bottom of the car. So in the nose of the car up there, there's 11 heat exchangers. There's another one that's facing down. Clearly somebody's parked this thing over a curb or two. And this is the exit for yet another heat exchanger right down there. And there's a duct kit that I have to buy that's supposed to come with the car that forces air up in here. And up in here, that's to help cool the power steering. You can see these Cadillac brake ducts from this perspective are going to catch a lot of air from underneath the car and force it in to cool these massive brakes. So while I'm cruising around underneath here, there's a lot of neat little things to see that you don't see on a lot of different cars. And that's these little sensors. And those are suspension, ride height, and angle sensors. And they're on all 4 corners. And that's part of how the StabiliTrak system works. And I'm certain once these get up to temperature, this is gonna burn right off. But it's neat on a new car, seeing all the technology, all the stuff. I'm sitting here looking at this exhaust system. X pipe, H pipe. And then you get back here and you go, what were they thinking? I mean, clearly, a straight pipe there without a crush in it still has plenty of clearance. It's like, GM, you get it right in so many areas, and then you do stupid stuff like this. I don't get it. Check out this E differential. It's an electronically controlled, modulated differential. It has its own pump and computer system. Yeah. So the fluid comes out of here, runs all the way to the front of the car through these tubes, goes through a heat exchanger up front, comes all the way back. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You see we have these sensors here. Again, I plan on replacing some of these control arms. One, because this just looks Mickey Mouse. I mean, it's light, but I'm gonna put SPL arms here, giving it a little bit of adjustability. And you see, under really, really harsh acceleration and braking, while these little rubber things are great for road and harshness and whatnot, I'll replace this arm and probably this arm first. And there's another one up top, way up there. And I plan on replacing that one. I think I'm gonna leave this one alone for right now. I got the bolts, but we don't have time today to install them. I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of the bimodal exhaust, being able to make it quieter. So Elise Borla, if you see this video, yes, I remember you. You have been, you and your husband have been really, really great to the industry. So I'm looking forward to running your exhaust system on this car. And I'll reach out to your marketing company or your marketing division, and let's see what we can put together about getting an exhaust system for this car. But this is it. All right, oil filter is stopped dripping. It's time to take it off and put a new one on. All right, everybody, this is a test. and here's the test. We're going to see if my brother is subscribed to my YouTube channel. I got the Camaro at his shop, as many of you've seen, but I need to run to advance, and, well, he gave me the Bronco. Now, all right, we're a Bronco family. And when I say Bronco family, pretty much our entire childhood, we have always owned and driven full-size Broncos. Not those little baby sport things, not the bullshit. We're talking start back in the early 70s with small block powered Bronco. Then in the 80s, we had an 81, then an 83, and moved up to 86 model when they came out with the fuel injection and the 5.8 liters. And then I had a 91, then a 95, then a 96, and I still currently own a 96 and a 95 Bronco. So my brother buys this wild track. Now I'm telling you, he traded in an Audi, like a Q7 or something, one of the big sport utility. Same thing as like a Porsche Cayenne. Stupid fast, all the bells and whistles, every option on the sport list, and got this. And it's a blast. I am absolutely addicted and hooked. This thing it's so capable. It's so killer. I mean, it takes every ounce of not wanting to get kicked out of his house for the weekend and out of his shop not to go climb this hill behind me. I mean, would you do it? Leave a comment. If your brother gave you a Bronco, would you not be like ripping it up right here in this over this gravel? I mean, I really wanted to put it in 4-low and just like 3-wheel it on the rock right there. But I love my brother, and he would be so pissed. But let me tell you about this thing. This thing is so amazing. Now, there's a million videos out there that tell you about Broncos and all the features and all the stuff and everything about the trucks. But until you actually drive one and ride in one, I'm telling you, there's no better vehicle to have fun. This thing is a blast. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it does have the 2.7 EcoBoost. So what does that mean? What's that in real world? All right. A lot of people are talking about the Raptor. Now, of course, I just learned all these things. The 2-door is 500 pounds lighter than the 4-door. With the 2.7, and Ford offers a performance tune for this engine. And with the performance tune, the 2-door is faster. Now, I mean, we're talking about a Bronco, right? Why do you need speed? You don't need speed. You need torque. You need to be able to crawl over those rocks. I mean, I bounced that curb and it didn't even feel it. I just backed up to it and said, got you. So I'm here to tell you, I'm kind of addicted. I think it's really badass. Maybe I shouldn't have bought a Camaro. I should have bought a Bronco. But I mean, it's awesome. Other than the ding-a-ling, the doors come off. He's got the hard top and the soft top. It's just everything about this truck. I had plenty of leg room sitting in the back seat. Why would you buy a 4-door unless you have kids? You might as well buy a Ford Explorer. This is just, it's a capable vehicle. It's an amazing vehicle. Humongous display. It's Bronco everything. Big grips right here. Look at my hand. That's a firm grip. It's got OS handles all over the back. It's got a really decent stereo system. I'm really shocked about that part. He's gonna go ape shit because I'm gonna have mud on my shoes. I don't know, I'm in love. Tell me what you think. What would you do? Would you bring it back all muddy? I'm telling you, it's every ounce of me. We're gonna find out if he subscribes to my channel after this, because I'm not gonna tell him I just did this video. This is a wild track, EcoBoost 2-door, and I'm having a blast. My name is David Wilkes, and please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and see all the content, because tomorrow's gonna be crazy. All right, it's an early morning and it's track day. Heading to Atlanta Motorsports Park. We got about 40 minutes till we get there. I decided to drive the car instead of trailering. after getting everything done on the car. It just seemed that it was a lot easier since this is going to be a cold tire day and we're learning the car. So I figured I would just drive it there. It's so cold, it's not like it's going to affect the tires on wear. It's like driving on ice with these 3Rs. But the hot brake pads are amazing, and we'll see how she does. Alright. Well, look, check this out. Yeah, track day on our compound tires. Ice. Drive with care. Alright, well, we got coffee now. That was important. And no, we didn't buy coffee at Buc-ee's because there's no Buc-ee's right here, and Buc-ee's is shitty creamer. Yeah, Buc-ee's, what are y'all doing? All right, let's get rolling. Starting to come up on other people heading to the track, and I was looking at the banks. The data monster was telling me it was 32 degrees a minute ago. Now it's 34 because I'm sitting still. Pretty crazy. That's nuts. Let's get going again. Did you pass your Crown Vic test?
I think so. Yeah, I got to rip around on Rick's Crown Vic on ski pads.
That was awesome.
Wide open, so if you guys want to know that.
Was there a planned spin out on that first?
Not on the first one. Everything else.
This is exactly the way he wanted that to look.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a serious question. Because I was 2 cars behind you when you spun out, 2 or 3 cars, and we all just kind of came to a stop to let you get it. I guess if you were driving, whoever, let you get the shit together and get that going. Should we pass, like, if there's a spin out, should we just avoid it and keep moving?
On a skip pad, ideally, if there's a spin out, everybody stops. And that's Sean was a skip pad. He's talking on track. Oh, I didn't.
Somebody spun out on the track.
Whole other incident.
That wasn't me. I just don't skip that.
You have no idea what vector the spinning car is going to take when it suddenly reacquires grip.
Yep.
So choose carefully. I won't say yes or no. Choose very
If
carefully.
it happens on course, like he's saying, yeah, choose carefully, watch where they're going. If they're going off course, you can go around.
I was just curious, generally speaking, is it safer to stop because you got people coming up and by, or to try to go around?
Go around stops. I would say no stops.
Yeah, definitely don't stop.
Case by case is what I think about it.
Let me suggest if you're that close at speed and you're in the intermediate group, you might want to just give yourself a little space in the vehicle in front of you.
That's true.
You're going to learn.
Stop, of course, if you need to, but stopping should be allowed.
All the track day trophies are in the
That
toilet.
happens on course, do what we mentioned. If you're spinning on the skid pad and somebody else is out there, everybody stops. You never know where that car's going. Cool. That's it out of me. Any other questions? Fantastic. If you guys want to come try the West track at Porsche,